And we start the morning with a gentleman who took me back in time with his music knowledge. He is, of course, sitting in the seat of governance in San Fernando. He is the mayor of San Fernando, Junia Regrello. A very good morning to you, Your Worship. Nice to have you here this morning.
Good morning, the High Priest. Shalom.
Well, indeed, shalom to you too, my brother. I was looking at the title, and it said Your Worship, and I said, well, y'all taking the bishop to church this morning. I've got two worships inside here. What's up with this? But it's great to see you, and you look wonderful. Thank you so much for braving the weather and coming out this morning. Good to see you.
Sentiments reciprocate.
Good, thank you so much. It's a very difficult time for the nation on the heels of Bret, and it is in that context I ask you down here this morning, San Fernando.
But before we start, that piece you play there, that in the background,
Ralph.
Yes.
You see, I told you all he knew his music. Ralph McDonald, our Calypso Breakdown, came out of a Saturday Night Fever. That's where that was first featured. And Ralph, of course, is a Trinidadian and who has contributed enormously to spreading the culture of Trinidad and Tobago. Because wherever he had the opportunity, he got into some flavored Calypso-flavored music.
And he kept that element of it. From the doo-dop all the way up, you're hearing it, the congas, the Calypso rhythm is inside of there in the back.
Mr. Mayor, every musician this morning will say immediately, yes, he knows his music. You because to single out the doo-doop, you say, yeah, you're paying attention. All right, so let me take you down to San Fernando. Should we talk music this morning? No, we've got a very serious situation happening across the nation. San Fernando was hit, of course, by Bret, the tropical storm that really missed us, but the effects were wide and broad. Exactly to what extent, the extent of the damage we saw in San Fernando, Mr. Mayor?
Well, again, good morning, and thanks for this opportunity to share my thoughts and my views on the city of San Fernando. And I'm very passionate about this as a San Fernandian. We were able to navigate the system and the problems that occurred because we have an ongoing cleanup campaign, as opposed to those who failed to prepare to fail. And we have been doing that. The former mayor himself had embarked on a cleanup program before me, even when I was deputy mayor to him. And then there was another national cleanup campaign that started in January. So we used that opportunity to clear some of our main water courses. However, there are two areas of concern. One is the Guaracara River and the Superior River that runs all the way from crossing in San Fernando into the Gulf of Paria, passing through the Gulf area, the Green Acres area. But that river starts all the way up from Moruga, coming through Princestown, St. Madeleine, coming all the way and gathering momentum as it gets down to San Fernando. What we have, and it's not only in San Fernando, but across the board, poor engineering. 1, 2, the development and expansion of the various areas as we talk about housing. So we have 67,000 people in San Fernando now as opposed to what we had previously. We have expanded the boundaries. We're going south, further south as far as Paria Suites, or going down to almost to the Oropuch entrance. We have expanded in the east, going up to the St. Marlin area. Mr. Manning went about building houses all over to deal with the need. We also go as far as the entrance to Point Up here, where the Guaracara River is. But prior to that, we would stop at Marabella, we stopped in Laramine, and we stopped in the Coquille Village. We have expanded. So you have an increase in housing and persons in your operation, but yet the water courses remain the same. That's the first problem. Secondly, our indisciplined citizens who will build the houses, expand the houses on the banks or the drains as well, and create problems. Then you put it bluntly, we talk about land grabbing.
Yes.
Because nobody's paying attention to what's happening behind there. There is a rule where you have a 25 feet from these watercourses, from the rivers, and as the case being canal, so which gives you access for cleaning and clearance as the case may be. But yesterday I saw a guy, I think it was in the area called Palmis Bend in Coconut Drive in San Fernando. And he has a whole set of fruit trees planted on the bank of the river. Another guy, and most of these people are, what do you call them, unofficial residents.
They're squatters.
Squatters.
I mean, you know,
squatters.
One can use the euphemism
Right.
you want. Bottom line is
they're expanding and they're putting up steel and concrete structures on the riverbank.
Yes.
And that's where the area of access to get to the river.
At the end of the day, the voice you're hearing, listeners, is that of the Mayor of San Fernando, Junia Regrello. We are happy to have him here. At the end of the day, that is going to be the common denominator we are going to find just about everywhere, because if you have building without infrastructural planning, if you have structures going up without drainage permission, if you have structures going up illegally, it is very difficult to not expect this kind of
Mr.
result.
Bishop, but the laws are there for us to implement.
Yes.
And we do not do that.
Well, that is the area I'm coming to, Mr. Mayor, as you raise that. We both acknowledge that is the problem. There are laws on the books. Why are these laws not enforced? And I should ask you this way. Who is responsible for the enforcement of these laws vis-a-vis squatters, illegal occupants?
I'm going to take some as we sit in our next meeting on Wednesday, I'm going to ask some questions. I'm going to go to the engineering department, the municipal police department, and once the orders are passed via regulations at the council level, then the police have to do their work, and I will follow up. I mean, sometimes you have to do what you have to do.
So you are saying that the issue is that the council, the policemen under your jurisdiction should be the ones enforcing this.
Yes, we'll be doing this.
And the enforcement is not what we have seen. All right.
So the engineering department they must go out, do their investigation, get their facts, bring back the council. We make the decision, and then the police will enforce it.
At the end of the day, unless we have enforcement, we are going to have this repeated over and over and
once
over
you're not
again.
doing it, they'll be of the view that they can get away with it, and nobody's paying attention to these things.
One of the things that I heard happening is that the corporations have in fact done some cleaning, but they would bank. If they desilt an area, for instance, they would put it on the bank, and the collection has been a problem.
Yeah.
Was that a problem in San Fernando at all?
No, we had that in one area. That was done over the years. You see, what happens is that there's election coming up, and the politicians do what they have to do. But then at the end of the election, there's no follow-up. So we really have to get serious about the work that we have as mayors and chairmen of a various corporations. We have to get serious.
It is very interesting because I did not plan you first, as it were. We just got in touch with a number of people. As I said, we will be followed by the Chaguanas mayor and the Sangre Grande corporation chairman in this discussion. But one of the major questions is, you are going to have weather conditions that are going to outstrip any planning you have. I mean, weather is weather. So there's some variables inside of that becomes the unpredictable. However, your base of preparation should be in place. And the question of disaster preparation is one that comes up. But you say San Fernando was not hit. And from what you articulated thus far is because the requisite attention was paid for this sort of eventuality. And of course, the best preparation, as you again articulated, that I'm sure we're going to find this morning, is that even with the best planning, if folks are doing the wrong things, i.e. occupying land, grabbing land, and or
littering,
yes, which is a real problem.
Right. We pulled out about 2 truckloads of plastic from the Caracara River yesterday, and you have a fridge, tires. Because the river is behind you, so you just throw it over the fence into the river. But not thinking about the consequences of what's going to happen down the road. So those are things that we have to address. Education.
San Fernando was spared because of proper work. But if you can give me an idea of how much commerce would you say has been lost in San Fernando as a consequence of this, and that goes in a number of areas. One is the actual cleaning. 2 is the loss of productivity hours and stuff like that.
Well, it would be basically 2 areas were affected, which is on the banks of the Superior River, which is the Green Acres and the Coconut Drive area. I know yesterday we had some problems in Marabella because of the water coming out of the Williamsville area, coming into Toruba over the highway there, and that is behind the Maniram John area. People were just marooned there for the day. Being a Saturday would not have been that bad. So we had that. We're working as we speak. We have volunteers, contractors outside here addressing those problems. as we speak.
When you say you're going to send, because you said you're going to raise it at your next meeting, you're going to send the police outside to follow through on those who have not been abiding by drainage laws and so on. Are you expecting to get a lot of pushback from politicians? Because you mentioned the political season is not far away. Yeah. At the end of the day, that's one of the problems we are finding. We have what I call apologists for illegal activity.
But sometimes, as politicians, we don't want to offend our constituency because we need their support down the road. But you have to do what you have to do. At the end of the day, I mean, we want to leave here better than how we met it.
That's right.
That's our responsibility. Or the next generation will pay a price for that. And I think San Fernando has done extremely well. We're really thinking about local government reform, and we want to be advanced with that.
I want to go into that area of local government reform because when you get a situation like this happening, you speak in terms of, okay, if, let's say, for instance, property taxes were collected and a portion of that went towards the city corporation, that the corporation can now use this money to further some plans. So I know that local government reform has been primary in the manifesto, for instance, of the PNM before they got to power. How optimistic are you that some of the proposals made to give that sort of autonomy, that sort of revenue source in the hands of the corporation, how optimistic are you that will happen?
As a former member of parliament, I was part of that process back in the 2007, 2010 era. And I know the AG is working on it. We would like to have that ready by the end of this year, late this year. We'll have to repeal the Act 21 of 1990. That has to be, and then the process of legislation coming in for a new operation, something that is probably more democratic and more applicable, that suits and tailor the various corporations, the case may be. I think we can be proactive by looking at areas that we can start working with as of now. You also have to look at building capacity, institutional strengthening, and that's what we should be doing. That's what we are attempting to do now, rather than wait for when the laws are passed. Okay, we're going to do this.
Right.
It will take a minimum of 3 years to become operational. So we're going to start, as I said before, look at the capacity, look at the strengthening of the institution, and moving forward.
The area there of the local government, I'm still going to stay there for a bit. Specifically, what percentage of money collected in property tax is envisaged by you or contemplated by others that will in fact go to the central government, and what percentage will go to the city corporation? And I ask that because somebody's collecting this. It is going to be the state that's collecting this money, and then that money will be put back to the local government. Am I correct?
That exact figure has to be determined, but I know a considerable sum will be going to the corporation. It will vary as much as 2/3 of the amount will be going to the corporation and 1/3 to the central government.
It's almost begging without answer, but then you clearly must be aghast by those who ask for improvement in the different areas but are against property tax.
No, well, I mean, it is a logical, it's an applicable. You have no choice in the matter because we look after all your needs and you want to live without it, not paying taxes. The breeze blow too hard and you come to the corporation and say the breeze is blowing too hard. Your rivers have to be clean, but how it's being financed and you're not paying property tax. All over the world, it's done.
Not only that, we enjoy some living conditions here that other people would love to enjoy at the cost, the property tax percentage that we're paying. Folks go to New York and New Jersey,
everything in this country is subsidized by the state.
Indeed,
everything.
Indeed, water, lights. I mean, everything.
Education.
$25 million allocated to alleviating the hardship of those most affected by the storm by the government. The reports are that there's going to be a battle coming because folks are saying some areas were more hit by others. But that seems to me something that is running way ahead of ourselves. We have to see how best we exhaust this. How much of that money you think San Fernando will be asking for assistance from what you have seen?
Very little. Very little. We will not cross, I would say, $500,000.
That's impressive.
And that's good compared to what we've seen elsewhere. There are a couple of houses where they have to get some appliances, mattresses, beds, as the case may be, fridge and that type of things, and very, very minor. So we should be all right. There'll be no pressure on the state coming from the city of San Fernando.
Fantastic.
And once we clear our drains, we'll be all right.
Well, I'm very happy. It's a wonderful, optimistic
and the
note
important
to start
thing as
on.
well too is for the councillors who have a critical role to play in this to monitor, because we could be strange in our operation. We are peculiar people. The councillors have to ensure that this privilege is not abused by persons. So the monitoring is critical. You go in there, you do investigation, you ensure that these claims are legal and logical and realistic, and then presented for the various industry agencies to investigate. And
I like the area that you said the councillors have a part to play here, because one of the problems we have is that most all relationships seem to be adversarial, and when you get into that situation, I don't have councillors cooperating with the local governorship and stuff like that.
Well,
we
I must
are
tell
going to
you,
have
the
problems.
City Corporation councillors were extremely good in this regard. They were
fantastic.
They were on the ground in the field, or they were reporting back. We were meeting regularly. Again, our two member of Parliament for San Fernando East and San Fernando West, Minister Mitchell and the Attorney General Faisal Rari, we were networking on the phone 2:00 in the morning, ensuring that the people looked after.
So I don't have to ask you, when is San Fernando going to return to normalcy? We are saying, say for minor hiccups, basically things are normal.
Normal, yes, there.
Mr. Mayor, nice way to start my morning. Mayor Junia Regrello from San Fernando, thank you for taking the time to come down this morning. Oh, by the way, I think you may be down here to see some of that thing over there.
Hopefully.
It's called cricket.
Hopefully.
I wish you the best.
Say if you want to see rain and try, just put out 3 stumps.
Do not be a stranger. We'll be getting in touch with you again. It's really great to see you this morning. You look fabulous.
Appreciate it.
Your worship, have yourself a wonderful day. Thank you so much.